Good evening and welcome to Global Lens News. I'm Sadia Afzal. The world isn't running out of energy, but it is running into something far more dangerous: instability. For decades, energy was predictable. Oil flowed through well-known routes, gas pipelines connected continents, and global markets kept prices relatively stable. But that system is starting to break. And in 2026, we are entering something experts are calling a new era, an era of energy wars. This isn't war in the traditional sense. There are no tanks crossing borders or jets flying overhead. Instead, the battlefield is pipelines, shipping lanes, and supply chains. And the weapons are prices, shortages, and control. To understand what's happening, you have to look at how dependent modern life is on energy. Everything around you, your phone, your food, your electricity, even the cost of transportation is tied to energy. When energy becomes unstable, everything else follows. And right now, energy is becoming one of the most powerful tools countries have. Take oil, for example. Oil is still the backbone of the global economy. Countries that produce it hold enormous power. When supply is disrupted, whether due to conflict, sanctions, or political decisions, prices spike almost instantly. And when prices spike, economies feel it everywhere. But what's different now is how often these disruptions are happening. Conflicts in key regions, especially in the Middle East and Eastern Europe, are putting constant pressure on supply routes. Shipping lanes are becoming riskier, insurance costs are rising, and even the threat of disruption is enough to send markets into panic. Then there is natural gas. Unlike oil, gas is harder to transport globally. It relies heavily on pipelines and specialized infrastructure. This makes countries more dependent on specific partners, and that dependency can quickly turn into vulnerability. We have already seen what happens when that relationship breaks down. Entire regions have faced energy shortages, skyrocketing prices, and emergency measures just to keep the lights on. And it doesn't stop here. Energy doesn't just power homes and cars, it powers agriculture. Fertilizers, for example, are heavily dependent on natural gas. When gas prices rise, fertilizers become more expensive. And when fertilizer becomes expensive, food production suffers. That means energy instability doesn't just lead to higher fuel prices. It can lead to food shortages and inflation on a global scale. So what we are seeing isn't just an energy crisis, it's a chain reaction. Now add geopolitics into the mix. Countries are no longer just competing for energy. They are using it as leverage. Sanctions, trade restrictions, and strategic alliances are reshaping who gets energy and at what cost. This is where the idea of energy wars becomes very real. Instead of direct conflict, countries are applying pressure through supply control. One country cuts exports, another imposes sanctions, and suddenly entire economies are caught in the middle. And for smaller or developing countries, the impact is even more severe. They often don't have the financial power to absorb price shocks or secure alternative supplies. So when prices rise globally, they are hit the hardest. But here's where things get even more complicated. At the same time all of this is happening, the world is trying to transition to cleaner energy. Renewable energy sources like solar and wind are growing rapidly, but they come with their own challenges. They require rare minerals, advanced technology, and massive infrastructure investments. And guess what? Those resources are also unevenly distributed across the world. This creates a new kind of competition, not for oil or gas, but for lithium, cobalt, and other materials essential for batteries and renewable systems. So even as the world tries to move away from fossil fuels, a new form of resource rivalry is emerging. It's like shifting from one type of energy war to another. And then there is the issue of reliability. Renewables are powerful, but they are not always consistent. The sun doesn't always shine. The wind doesn't always blow. That means countries still need backup systems, often powered by fossil fuels. So instead of replacing old systems entirely, we are seeing a complex mix of old and new. And managing that mix is proving to be incredibly difficult. All of this leads to one major outcome: volatility. Energy prices are no longer stable. They rise and fall rapidly, influenced by everything from political decisions to weather patterns. And that volatility makes it harder for businesses, governments, and individuals to plan for the future. Imagine running a factory where energy costs can double in a matter of weeks, or trying to manage a national economy when fuel imports suddenly become unaffordable. This uncertainty is one of the defining features of the new energy era, and it's not going away anytime soon. In fact, many experts believe it's only going to get worse. As global demand continues to grow, especially in developing regions, the pressure on energy systems will increase. More demand, combined with unstable supply, creates the perfect conditions for ongoing disruption. And as climate change intensifies, extreme weather events will add even more strain. Heat waves increase electricity demand, storms damage infrastructure, droughts affect hydropower. Everything is connected. So where does this leave us? The world is entering a period where energy is no longer just a commodity. It's a strategic asset, a tool of influence, and in some cases, a weapon. Countries that can secure stable, affordable energy will have a major advantage. Those that can't will struggle. And for everyday people, this means one thing: unpredictability. Higher bills, fluctuating prices, and a constant sense that something bigger is shifting behind the scenes. But there's also an opportunity here. Moments of crisis often drive innovation. The challenges we are facing could accelerate the development of better technologies, smarter systems, and more resilient energy networks. The question is whether that progress will come fast enough. Because right now, the world isn't just dealing with an energy problem. It's dealing with a power shift, literally and politically. And as this new era unfolds, one thing is clear: the countries that control energy will shape the future, and everyone else will have to adapt. This is Sadia Afzal for Global Ins News.